Elizabeth said she was going to try and bring you in on this. I have to say, I did have my doubts. You're quite the get for this paper.
I'm fond of Port Charles.
That's right. You cut your teeth here at the Herald, right?
Mm-hmm. For a few years back in the 80s, I was investigating my sister's abduction. The trail led me here.
Back to the city where you made your name. So tell me, how has Port Charles changed for you?
Well, it's certainly bigger, shinier, faster. None of that changes its essential character. At its heart, it's still the Port Charles I left behind.
I certainly hope you didn't say anything to upset Mac.
Why would I do that?
Because you can't seem to help yourself sometimes. Anything to do with Peter goes back to Faison with you.
Excuse me for being overprotective.
That is my point, Robert. I don't need you to protect me from Peter. He isn't like his father any more than I'm like mine.
So I need...
Well, I can imagine you'd entertain the idea of working in Port Charles out of some nostalgia for the place where you got your start.
I have other irons in the fire. Family of my own here. I'm interested in the city, whether we decide to collaborate or not.
And exposing a would-be philanthropist as a major drug trafficker doesn't rank high on your to-do list?
If Cyrus is dirty, he has done an incredible job covering his tracks. Which means any investigation would be risky, labor-intensive, not to mention costly.
Well, I'm willing to pay. The story and you are worth it.
The money isn't what's holding me back. It's you.
Okay, my dad is basically addicted to adventure. He wasn't cut out for parenthood. He basically disappeared on Georgie and me, but he's not in the same universe as Faison.
Agreed.
I was trying to make a point, which is my dad is an absentee parent, but I'm not. Faison was an evil lunatic, but Peter isn't. You need to stop worrying.
Worrying about the ones we love, it comes naturally. It's what makes us human.
You know what else makes us human? Sharing in joy with others.
The best publishers I've worked with stay out of the limelight. You, however, have the real bad habit of becoming the story yourself, the shootout with your father, your kidnapping a few summers ago, your recent arrests.
Cleared on all charges, I might add.
You don't have to sell me on Port Charles. You don't have to sell me on the invader, but you do need to sell me on yourself. So, give me your pitch. Why should I take a job with Peter August, given his reputation?
I'm not going to pitch you, Miss Templeton.
And why is that?
Because it's clear to me you've already been given the hard sell by Robert Scorpio.
So they're a kid. Who said anything about Robert Scorpio?
Oh, you didn't have to. His vendetta and paranoia are all over this conversation.
Oh, you need mince words.
Well, it's no secret you and Robert have a history. Clearly his opinion matters to you.
Well, why shouldn't it? Robert has a bit of an attitude, but he's the closest thing I've ever witnessed to an honest-to-God hero.
Oh, of course. As opposed to my father, right? The irredeemable villain who has tainted me by association.
What good would my story do if it was printed by a publisher my readers didn't trust? That's what this comes down to. I need to be able to trust you.
Trust isn't won overnight, Miss Templeton.
No, it is not.
And I'll have you know that my circulation numbers are spiking right now at a time when most print has gone the way of the dinosaur. So if that's not good enough for you, then I suggest you take a leap of faith.
Peter and I